In today's video, we're going to learn how to make a chart and graph accessible by applying a pattern, a legend, and our labels to all of our data points. Welcome to the Accessibility Guide channel. My name is Sean Jordison, and let's jump right in. Now, these tips can be applied both to Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint. The first thing we want to do is get our chart inside of our page. And I am just picking a random data series where the data doesn't have any real meaning. And what we're going to do is make this chart accessible. There's a few different things we can do. What I like to begin with is making sure all of my labels are correctly on here. So I'm going to select the blue bar, and over on the right hand side there's a little plus icon, and I want to include data labels. And we want to select our other chart information and do the same thing. The fastest method is just to select the bar chart and then select data labels from the little plus icon. Now what we're going to do is apply a pattern, and we need to make sure that the patterns are passing our color contrast requirements. So I'm going to select the blue chart. We're going to select the data point, right click, and select format data point. This will bring up a window on the far right hand side where we can adjust the fill and the border. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to add a border and make it solid black. And of course, there we go. Sometimes you have to click multiple spots for it to select all of the data points. What we're looking for is the little blue icons around our data. All right, so I have the blue selected. I have a black solid line border. And then we also want to make it a pattern fill. And for this first data point, let's go ahead and do vertical lines. And we're going to change the color to a dark blue so that we know that it passes our color contrast requirements. Now this blue is so dark it almost looks black, but it's not. Let's select the orange data point, and let's also apply a black border. And then we're going to do a pattern fill, and this one will do horizontal lines. And let's change the color to a deep red. We can then change our final data point, but we actually don't have to change the final one because you're allowed to have one solid color. But we would just want to make sure that our gray is nice and dark so that it passes our color contrast requirements. Now, to know that it passes the color contrast requirements, I could launch a tool like the CCA tool, and I can simply test the blue against the white. This has 11.6. Let's test our red. That also passes our AA requirements. And then our gray passes our color contrast requirements. Now, the final thing that you want to do is select the chart, right click it, and select view alt text. And this is where you want to put all of the categories and the data points. So we could say series 1, category 1 is 4.3. And then you would just list out all of the other data points. Now there's a couple of other extra steps you can do, like adding a label to the chart. So we can right click the chart and select insert caption and give this a caption, and we'll just call it sample data, figure 1 sample data. And we're gonna have it go above the selected item and select OK. And then from here, if we really wanted to make sure it was accessible, we can mark it like a heading level 2 or something like that. And that concludes how to make a chart or graph accessible using accessible colors and patterns and data labels from within Microsoft Word. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.